Well, there are two sports, soccer and rugby, that are really well known in Europe and in South America, but are gaining traction here in the United States. And right here in Saratoga, we're really fortunate that we have one heck of a rugby team. So joining me today is Brandy Bishop, who's an officer of the women's team for the Saratoga Rugby Inc. organization. Correct, Amento?
Yes.
Well, that's good. Okay. So why don't you tell us a bit about Rugby Inc.?
All right. Well, we're an organization that started in 2011, and basically the purpose was to kind of streamline efforts for member clubs, make things a little easier for new clubs to start up, and just for clubs to run themselves. So we kind of created an overhead entity that could help out the smaller clubs. So right now we have several clubs joining us, which is pretty good.
So tell me about the different types of clubs. Say you're a young kid and you're interested in rugby. Say you're a little bit older and you're interested in rugby. You're a man, you're interested in rugby. You're a woman, you're interested in rugby. Give me an idea.
Well, right now we pretty much have a club for everyone, so there's an opportunity for everyone to get out there and play and practice. As it stands right now, we have an adult women's team. We have two youth teams, a girls and a boys youth team for high school players. We also have an over 35 club for men. And then we have summer programs for adults and youth. And we are working on putting together another program this winter for children 7 to 13 with a partnership with the Wilton YMCA.
Oh, that's such an ambitious program. How do you raise funds?
We actually have someone that sits on our board that focuses on sponsorship and reaching out to community organizations to make partnerships.
Now, I remember the last time you were on, you were talking about a race.
Yes,
every October,
that's another
right?
way too. Yes.
Yes,
this will be our second year, and we had pretty good success last year, so we're looking forward to putting it on again. We raised over $1,600 for some local charities, and also managed to raise some funds for our own clubs as well.
Boy, I think that's wonderful. Rugby is pretty much a year-round sport, right? But
yeah.
we're spooling up for if spring ever comes, right?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
hopefully. Hopefully the snow will melt.
Do you play in the snow?
We've had to before, but hopefully not. It's not that fun playing in the snow.
I imagine so. When does the spring season start up?
The spring season for most teams has started up a few weeks ago. Right now indoor practices, and hopefully as soon as the snow melts we'll move outside, and that usually runs until May or June.
God, I can imagine playing rugby, hitting the ground is something. If you're playing inside, what are you hitting? Cement floors?
We don't do as much contact inside, so it might be a little dangerous.
Oh, that might. Okay, and the summer season, you were telling me, is a specific type of rugby that, for our viewers to know, is going to be included in the next Olympics.
Yes, it's a fun program. It's called Sevens, so only 7 players per team play against each other. It's a slightly different style of rugby, a little different than what we play during the regular season, so it's a lot of fun for players to try and participate in.
Well, you know, we're going to make an effort. We do make quite an effort on high school football and basketball, very commonly known sports in high school. But we're going to cover this in more detail.
Great.
I mean, it's a terrific sport. Now, I have one final question for you. Rugby, contact sport, you get the heck kicked out of you. What are you doing playing rugby?
It can be a tough sport, but it's a lot of fun. And because it is such a tough sport, you know, you get a really good group of people together, and I feel like because it's tough, you bond quickly to each other, which creates some really good friendships outside of, you know, just practices and games as well. So,
well, you know, you can't underscore that last statement. If you've ever seen a rugby game, it is all about teamwork. I mean, it's physically about teamwork.
It sure is, yep.
Well, I want to thank you very much for coming on and giving us an update on what's going on at Saratoga Rugby Inc. And as you get through the spring season and summer season, we'll be sure to have you back again and talk about it. All right?
Thank you.
Good. Thanks, Brandy. And to see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.